Good evening, friends. Welcome to the daily live session, Exports Nation Live on VG Exports Mastery channel. Friends, I'm very sorry for not being able to make it live yesterday due to some emergency, and the session could not be held yesterday. So the topic which we were supposed to take yesterday, we will be taking it today. And as you, Pradeep ji, good evening, welcome. Let us wait for a few minutes. Ayush ji, welcome, welcome to the live session. And we will be taking up new topics every day on this channel on this session, live session, which is held every day at 8:30 p.m. The objective of these sessions, friends, is to provide you the best possible mentoring, counseling, consultation, training. Prachi ji, welcome. Good evening. Again, I want to say sorry for not being able to conduct the session yesterday due to certain emergency. Last minute emergency was there. Srinivas ji, welcome to the channel Exports Nation Live on VJ Exports Mastery channel. The channel is streaming from Bangalore today, and the objective of this channel, friends, is to help you in understanding the different aspects of international trade. So we take different topics in every session every day, and the past sessions you can see the recorded sessions are available on the live section of VG Exports Mastery channel, and you can go through the earlier sessions to catch up with the sessions ahead. So these sessions, friends, will be focusing on the very interesting parts of the international trade. We'll be taking up case study. We'll be taking up certain research which is being done with new technologies in international trade and what is the potential. So I will also try, friends, to give you some inputs in coming sessions on the future of international trade so that you are prepared for availing the opportunity, which will be available very fast. So you will get the first mover advantage of getting into international trade in a very different way, in new ways. So, friends, yesterday, since the session could not be held, we were supposed to take the topic of the international logistics. And especially, we want to talk about the scenario of international logistics in India for the exports and imports purpose. So, that topic we'll take up. I'll give you some idea about the topic. So, you can ask your questions. Uh, Either you can post it in between also, but I will try to answer as soon as I'm through with the topic. So, friends, let us let me share with you some information which I have gathered about the international logistics scenario in India. So, it's like a case study because international logistics world over is very exciting field. So, what is the situation in India and how it gives you a lot of opportunities? So, I just want to share with you. I have collected certain information which I want to share with you in this session today. So let me share with you some information which I have collected. So just wait, I'm just sharing the information. So, friends, the idea is to make you understand that as an exporter, you should be aware that what is the situation of international logistics in India, where we are moving, and how the shape of international logistics is changing in India, which would be a useful thing for any exporter who is either new or who is established exporter. they will find this information very useful. So I'll be more than happy to read your questions in this respect. Okay, so the first thing which I want to share with you about the international logistics scenario in India is that, first, let me tell you that the world over, international logistics is a very different kind of industry. And the importance of international logistics is actually variable with the function of what is the strength of demand. For example, in recent time, in the pandemic, this was, I think, in last 1 century, it was the biggest shock to international logistics in the world, because everything just came to standstill. So there was a lot of depletion of demand of international logistics in pandemic time, coronavirus pandemic, and even today the impact of that is still felt. So the whole ecosystem of international logistics, the container movement from one country to another country, it all got disturbed very strongly because of the coronavirus pandemic. So now things are becoming normal day by day. But what has happened, that the result is that today the international logistics is facing the reorganization of the whole system, and the prices are very high for the containers comparatively from the normal time, but things are improving very fast. And the second variable is the what is the strength of the availability of the containers, where they are available, which are the sectors where container movement from and to is very high. So that is the other variable. The third variable is that the price attractiveness or the difference. So when what happens, that people are more interested to reduce price, because the international logistics price have a direct bearing on the landed cost. So like in many other industries, and in against many other industries, price is very, very important, because if some company can give better price, automatically the demand will increase, because price is it is very price sensitive market. And overall transportation cost, which includes the warehousing, which includes the loading and unloading of the cargo. So price of the freight, that is the freight charges, and the other costs which are associated with the international logistics, which actually also include the so-called multimodal transport operations. So what happens is that, because of being price sensitive, small cost matters. So in this scenario, this particular trade happens. So this is the importance of the logistics management is based on these factors. The most popular mode of transportation from the cost angle, because cost it is price sensitive, is the sea transportation. So the reason why sea is so popular is because it is cheaper. We have very large ships, so-called motherships. So motherships can be as big as even 4 lakh tons, metric tons. So 4 lakh, even 4.5. So containers, these motherships can carry containers up to 18,000 containers in one ship. So you can understand that how big these ships are. So because of the bigger size, the prices per container comes down. Bigger the ship, the prices come down. So the result is that the in the world there is a race to make the ships bigger and bigger. But the problem is, the limitation of the ship is that they have to pass through the man-made channels like Suez Canal or Panama Canal. So the larger ships will require more width, which cannot pass through these man-made channels. So that limitation is there. That is the reason we have the ships which are called Panamax or Suezmax. So these are the ships which actually cannot be made bigger. So maximum size which is possible in Suez Canal, or maximum size which is possible in Panama Canal. Because if it is not so, that the benefit of these man-made channels, which reduces the overall distance between one port to another port, that benefit will not accrue. So there is a limitation of the fight to make it big ship to the increased distance, because the bigger the ship, they have to pass through the continents. So, for example, African continent, they have to come to the bottom, because they cannot pass through the man-made channel. So, what happens? But otherwise, even otherwise, sea transportation is the cheapest, and that is the reason almost 90% of the international movement of the goods happens by sea. So, this was just the introduction which I wanted to tell you about the international logistics. There are few more factors in the international logistics, is that the overall industry is based on very high cost of operation, because the capital investment in the ships are very very high, especially oil tankers. They are very very costly stocks, which is running on the seawater. So margins are low, because as I told you that it is very price sensitive. So any company which can give better price will have bigger volumes. So this is a volume business of low margins. Now another very very important characteristics of international logistics is there is a lot of shortage of the talent. The people who knows about international logistics, who knows about the international shipping, who knows about the different types of haulage ships, and the overall operations of stowage, or about the pallets, or the stuffing, or the warehousing, custom bonded warehouse. The knowledge factor, the training is missing. So there is a lot of shortage of talent. Now, other very important characteristics of this trade internationally is infrastructural bottlenecks. So as I told you, that the man-made channels are, you can just count it on your fingers. Panama Canal, or Suez Canal, or even Straits of Malacca, which is actually not a man-made channel, but again, it is still not that developed that it can, you know carry very big traffic. So there is a waiting time of 1 to 2 weeks to pass through the Straits of Malacca, which actually creates a lot of it adds to a lot of cost. So another characteristics of this trade is that a lot of consolidation through acquisition, merger, and alliances are happening to make the operation very big. You know, the big operations under one ownership creates economy of scale, and the company can actually give better price. For example, if you take the example of the world's biggest tanker company, that is the BW Shipping, which is the world's largest tanker company, tanker ships they have, the maximum number of tankers they have, is was established with the merger of two very large organizations like Worldwide and of Hong Kong, and the Burgeson of Norway. So now we have got this BW Shipping, which is very very big, tanker business company, and so this is only possible through acquisition and mergers. There is no other way to bring down the price, because this market is price sensitive and requires a lot of capital investment. So demand from the clients is there in this, for investing in the technology to bring down the price, because technology, reduces the inefficiencies, makes it better. So we have got the concepts of smart so-called smart logistics, smart cargo, and we have got the sensors available. A lot of new technologies are coming, and they're totally based on the electronic data interface. So there is a lot of demand from the even clients, people who use international logistics carriers. They want companies to invest in technology, and they want that they should be able to provide one stop solution to all their needs. So because of this demand from the clients, what is happening is that very large organizations are being created who are investing in the latest technology, and they are trying to provide many solutions. So some Chinese companies, for example, have done really fantastic job in providing the warehouse to warehouse solutions, and the emergence of so-called MTOs, multimodal transport operations, is the result of that. So friends, my idea was just to give you an idea, just to help you understand that what this industry is type it is. So let us look at the scenario in India. So if we look at what is the scenario in India, I want to tell you that now India is also entering into the very large ports India is creating. For example, Kozhikode, with the private investment, these ports are coming, which can host the motherships. So right now, India does not have any port which actually can host motherships. So the nearest port from India which can host motherships is in Sri Lanka, that is in Hambantota, which actually is serving the Indian market. Motherships come there, so they are the goods are transshipped to smaller ships, and they come to India, and that adds to cost of importation as well as exportation from India. So the prices goes up. So now India is very soon coming to commission this new port, wherein the motherships will go from India itself. So it is coming up in Kozhikode, and the operations are going to start very soon. I think some portion of it is already started. So it's a private investment. More ports will be coming in India of the size of Hambantota, like that, and they will be able to host the motherships. So the international trade will become more attractive from India, because the logistics cost will get reduced. Now, because it's a new emerging area actually in India, it has now taken off, this international logistics business. So overall market is growing at a cumulative average growth rate of 12%, which is among the highest in the world actually. So this market is growing very fast, and the main demand from friends are from the exporters from manufacturing sector, or even retail sector, FMCG sector, and e-commerce. So if we take the overall logistics for the international trade as well as for the domestic movement of the goods, so what is happening is that the demand is coming from these type of companies. So this is the very general scenario of the international logistics and the domestic logistics in India. But the fact remains that I just told you that because it has still not that developed, so cost of logistics in India is higher than world average, which adds to the export price actually. And this is one of the reason why we are not able to fully compete with China. But we are moving towards that. If we are now coming out with a lot of infrastructure improvement in India, and the growth rate is very high. So we are expecting that after 2025, we will have no such issue, because right now we are spending almost 14% of the GDP on logistics, including the international logistics, including the container business or for the exports. But the world average of developing countries is 8%. So we are almost 6-7% higher as far as the logistics is concerned. So by 2025, we are expecting that we'll come to 8% or 9%. So our exports will become very attractive. So we will be able to compete with China. So this is already happening. So another 3 years, you will see the differences. Now, main market segment in India for the international logistics is third party logistics, 3PL, which the business is at present is about 3 billion US dollar. But in 2025, we are expecting that this business will become $1 trillion. So we are targeting $1 trillion international logistics, and domestic logistics, which will be major part of which will be containers. Even in India, we are moving towards containerization. Our average is around 50%. In the world over, even for domestic market, the containerization is almost 80%, 70, 80%. So there is a still lot of scope of containerization even for domestic logistics. So the growth rate in India in the international logistics, if we look at the all aspects of international logistics, warehousing growth rate is 10%, freight forwarding transportation is again 12%. So growth rate is very, very comfortable, and it only shows that money is being spent in this sector. That's why this growth is there, and it is higher than actually the growth of our international trade. But the impact will be seen very soon by 2025. Our exports will become very, very attractive. So we will be able to compete in many, many items with China in another 3 years. So some of the recent developments, why I'm saying this 2025, you will see a lot of improvement because if we look at the recent development, GST introduction of GST has helped in this in this growth because it has made things possible across the country and on the ports for the international trade. Uh, Recently, like world over, India was also affected. International logistics in India was affected by COVID-19 pandemic, but things are becoming normal now. But most important thing is there is a major push in infrastructure. Government of India has already announced the investment of 2.5 lakh crore, out of which 1 lakh crore is already spent on Sagarmala project or Bharatmala project. So that includes, as I just told you, very, very large seaports which can host the motherships, like in Kozhikode. Kozhikode is a template port which will be ready very soon now, and there the other ports are also being converted to these big, uh, very big ports. So by FDI route also a lot of money is coming in this sector, and there is a very big demand for the international logistics people, talent, professionals. So this is the scenario which is there of the international logistics in India. So friends, my idea today was to give you a snapshot of what is happening and how it can change the scenario of exports as well as imports in India. So it will also reduce the cost of imported goods because motherships can come to India. We need not transship the goods in Sri Lanka or some other port. So that should not be happening. India need the ships coming directly to India. So it will reduce the cost of our imports also. So by reduced cost of the imports, our export goods will become more attractive, more cost competitive. So our SCZ will become possible. Today, our SCZ are not being succeeding in the international trade because of the high cost of imported goods. Because those goods has to be escalation of cost should not be there because of the logistics cost. So that should not be there. So we are coming to that stage where the biggest ships can come to India and the imported goods will be cheaper. So we can value add those goods and make it possible to export them through special economic zones. So the concept of SEZ will become reality in another 3 years. So this is what is happening, friends. So this is what I wanted to share little bit by telling you the case study about India. You know what is happening in India in this uh, regard. So if you have any questions with respect to the international logistics, we'll be taking up some more topics also in future sessions about international logistics management. I'll tell you a little bit about the packing details, what type of different packings are there for exports will be taking up, and what is palletization, unitization, those things will be taking up in future. And if you have any specific query regarding the international logistics in India or about the ports, you can ask me. So the idea was today, friends, in this session to make you understand that as an exporter, uh, uh, what is the scenario. So that also, if you are aware of these things, so when you meet your international buyers or business partners, associates, you are fully aware that what are the irritants, what are the areas of cost escalation, why our prices, where our prices has to be reduced, where we stand, and accordingly make strategies. So, for example, if you want to compete with China in small areas, so we need to understand that where improvement is required. Akashji, welcome to the channel. One question has come from Akashji. So he has requested me to do one session about Amazon global selling. It's a very good idea. And Akashji, you are absolutely right. And I will definitely do one session on Amazon global selling platform, definitely. And we will discuss about the different marketplaces which Amazon global selling platform offers. There are different marketplaces which are good, which are doing best for the Indian exporters. How do you register for Amazon global selling platform? How do you list your goods there? What all documents are required to sell on Amazon global selling? So these things, you are absolutely right. It's a very good session. I will definitely do one session on Amazon global selling. I will announce it as soon as possible. I will do one session on Amazon global selling. So, uh, so if you have any query regarding the international logistics management, it will definitely be welcome. So, Prachiji, you have asked one question: how to ship LCL cargo? So, this is a very apt question, because less than container load cargo shipping requires some extra efforts or extra people in between. If you remember, I told you, when cargo goes to container yard directly, it should be FCL cargo. It should not be LCL cargo. So what happens for LCL cargo? You have to find the brokers who are called the consolidators. Now, who are the consolidators? They consolidate cargo from different exporters in the same sector. Suppose you are exporting to Europe, to Frankfurt port, or to any of the European port. So that sector, particular sector, they will consolidate cargo to make the LCL cargo FCL. And generally, LCL cargo is sent to CFS, Container Freight Station, where the other cargo also comes and converted into FCL cargo. So the shipping of the LCL cargo requires the consolidators who will actually ask you to bring the cargo not at the container yard, but rather on the CFS, that is the Container Freight Station, which are generally little away from the container yards at the cheaper places, because they have to wait for the other cargo to come and get the consolidation done. So what happens, friends? The LCL prices per kg are slightly more than the FCL rates. It can be as high as 30% or even 35% higher than the FCL rates. So because reason is there, because the consolidator make money out of it. That is their bread and butter. So what they do, they buy containers, full container load at the FCL rates, and sell you the LCL rates. So whenever you talk to your brokers, they will give you both rates. What is the FCL rate for the cargo if it is full container load? or LCL rate. So you pay the LCL rate, and they will take care of the consolidation part. And the only thing is that your cargo will go to CFS, not to the container yard. So at CFS, container freight station, the consolidation will happen, and whatever is the extra cost is already included in the increased LCL rates. So you need not worry about that. Only thing is that your price goes up. So if it is a LCL cargo, the per unit price will go up for the exports. So I think that explains to you that how it is done. But otherwise, all of the formalities are same. So custom is not concerned about whether your cargo is FCL or LCL. They're only concerned about your commercial invoice, what you declare in shipping bill, and your packing list, and all other things remain same. So it does not require. Only thing is that the freight rates are higher for the LCL car. So this is one thing I just wanted to share with you. So I think in today's session we started with some topics on international logistics management, and the I will also let you know after some time, because one full complete training course is going to be live in another 2 or 3 weeks on international logistics management. So I will share with you when it is ready, and uh, you can avail that. You can enroll to that course. I will provide you the complimentary coupon, so you will have full knowledge about international logistics management. Pradeep ji has asked one question, that if the CFS is also available nearby the dry port. Yes. So, like for example, when we say the dry port like Tugalkabad, ICD Tugalkabad, or ICD Dadri, so normally CFS stations are not very far, maybe within 4 or 5 kilometer or 10 kilometer, where the land is cheaper. So you'll have to find out. So the person who gives you the LCL rates, he himself will tell you that which CFS you have to bring your cargo. So they will tell you, like there are CFS station in Rewari also, for example. So this dedicated freight corridor which is coming up has many CFS on the way. Throughout the dedicated corridor in Rewari, or in the on the route, there are many container freight stations. So and it can be very useful if CFS are available on the rail line itself. So they actually can be more useful. Azizji, good evening. Welcome to the channel. So in today's session, friends, we discussed about the international logistics management. We started on this. We'll take some more topics in this area in coming sessions. We'll also discuss about the new request, like global Amazon global selling platform, how to use it. We'll have one session on that. So maybe we'll require more than one session to talk about the Amazon global selling platform. So I will start with that. But let me take few more topics of international logistics management. So you are having at least the basic knowledge, at least the minimum knowledge, which you should have about the international logistics management. So that was my idea of starting with these topics. So I'm very thankful for to all the audience who are taking good interest in this these live sessions, which actually can be. Sunendra, good evening, Sunendra. Welcome to the channel. Uh, so, uh, so Pradeep ji has asked one question, that what is the unit load device? Okay, so Pradeep ji, I will answer this question in the next session. Uh, generally, the load device, if I'm not wrong, actually, there is in the container yard you have got the gantry. Gantry is there, and which uh, Yeah. So I'll take one more question, but let me just give you some idea about the unit load device. Although I will tell you about it more in more detail in the next session, but in as far as I understand, that unit load device refers to the gantries there in the container management, and there are two devices actually which are used. One is the whole container lifting cranes are there, which 40 feet container and 20 feet container they can lift and carry in the container yard. The other is the gantry. So gantries are very very big gantries. They can lift the loaded containers from one place to another place. They can reorganize in the container yard. So I will have to check up that which exactly is the unit load device. So unit, actually, let me tell you, unit in the container yard is either 20 feet container generally and 40 feet container, which are the most common. So I'm pretty sure that unit load device refers to uh, the 40 feet or 20 feet container movement gantries, or the crane trucks which are there, which can simply lift with the four. It's like it can easily lift the one container and put it somewhere else. So so I think so. So let me be sure about unit load device, but I think so. It is there. So it is a good question for me also, because I will have to add to my knowledge about the international logistic management this particular device. Thanks. Azizji has asked one question: can one avail the export incentives if he has not joined any promotion council, and if he has joined later, say few? So, friends, as far as I remember, as I understand, one document is necessary for availing the export incentive, and that is the RCMC. Now, RCMC refers to registration cum membership certificate. I am not very sure whether few membership is also covered under this RCMC. If it is covered, and in that case, possibly you can claim the incentive even with the membership of the few also. But I'm not very sure. But generally speaking, as far as my knowledge goes, you have to take the membership of the respective EPC, which deals with your core area, core item. Suppose you are exporting headloom goods, then you should be member of the headloom export promotion council. If you are exporting apparels, ready-made garments, then you should be member of AEPC. If you are exporting engineering goods, then you should be member of EEPC. I'm talking about the Indian exports. So when you become the member, you get this certificate which is called RCMC, registration cum membership certificate. In India, you cannot avail export incentive if you are not holding any RCMC. So I will check up whether the membership of few also make you eligible. So this I have to check up. But I think it may not be. It may not be allowed. But so EPC membership, I think, would be necessary. So I think there were some very good questions about the different aspects of international trade today, and there are some more unanswered questions from the last session, which actually today I could not take up because of paucity of time. So today's few questions, confirmation, and one or two earlier questions, I will definitely take up tomorrow in tomorrow's session. So let us call it a day today, and let us meet tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. And very good night to all the audience. Thanks for joining today. So let us meet tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you. Good night.